If you're thinking about getting into board games but don't know where to start, or you're simply looking for quick games you can bring out at any moment without spending half an hour explaining the rules, stick around because today I'm bringing you the 7 best filler board games available in Europe right now. These are simple games, short sessions, and most importantly, guaranteed fun from minute 1. All the links are in the video description. Let's get into it. We're starting with Virus, and look, if I had to pick just one from this list, it would probably be this one. The concept is simple, you need to collect 4 healthy organs in different colors to win, but here's where it gets good. Your friends are going to do everything possible to infect you with viruses and ruin your game. It's one of those games that creates healthy rivalries, laughs, and the occasional shout of outrage when someone plays a medical error card and swaps your entire body you'd been building. What's brilliant about Virus is that the rules take literally 2 minutes to explain, but the strategic depth appears when you start understanding that sometimes it's better to hold on to organs in your hand until you have the medicines to immunize them. Games last about 15 minutes and work great with 2 to 6 players, though the sweet spot is 4. It also has expansions like Virus 2 Evolution that add mutated viruses and bionic organs if you want to spice things up. One detail I think is fantastic is that publisher Trangis collaborated with Once, the Spanish organization for the visually impaired, to create a Braille version so it's accessible to people with visual disabilities. If you're looking for something portable, easy to explain, and that creates memorable moments, Virus is your pick. Moving on to Dobble, which you probably already know or at least have seen in a shop. This game feels like magic the first time you try it. It has 55 round cards, and each card shares exactly 1 symbol with any other card in the deck. Your job is to find that symbol before everyone else. It seems easy until you're sitting there with your brain fried trying to see what on earth they have in common while your 6-year-old nephew beats you over and over again. What's great about Dobble is that it includes 5 different mini-games, from collecting cards to passing them to your neighbor like hot potatoes. Imagine a Sunday afternoon with the family, you pull out Dobble, and within 30 seconds everyone's playing regardless of age. It works with 2 to 8 players, and the games are so quick you always end up saying just one more. That said, an important note, if you're colorblind, it can be tricky because it relies heavily on color to distinguish symbols. Compared to Virus, Dobble is more about speed and reflexes, whilst Virus is more strategy and messing with your mates, so it depends on what you're after. Now comes Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza, and yes, that's the full name. This game is absolute madness and probably the most physical one on the entire list. You go around saying the words Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza in order whilst flipping cards, and when the card matches the word you've just said, everyone has to slap the center of the table. The last person to react takes all the cards. But wait, it gets more complicated. There are special cards for Gorilla, Groundhog, and Narwhal that force you to do gestures before slapping. I can tell you from experience that this game creates the most entertaining chaos I've ever seen at a table. A very serious warning, take off rings and watches before playing because the slapping is no joke, and I've seen some nasty scratches. If you have a group of friends with a good sense of humor who don't take things too seriously, this game is going to be a massive hit. Games are super quick, 5 to 10 minutes, and you can play with 3 to 8 people. We're completely changing pace with Skyjo, which is the total opposite in terms of energy. No shouting or slapping here, it's a calm game of flipping cards over and trying to get the lowest score possible. You have 12 cards face down forming a grid, and each turn you draw a card and decide whether to swap it for one of yours. The addictive trick is that if you get 3 identical cards in a column, you eliminate them all, and they count as 0 points. So suddenly having 3 2s isn't so bad if you can get rid of them. It's perfect for those evenings when you want to play something. Whilst chatting quietly, it has that relaxed but engaging vibe that makes you say another round, and before you know it, 2 hours have passed. It works brilliantly for playing with grandparents or people who aren't used to board games because the rules are very intuitive. Comparing it to the previous ones, Skyjo is the zen game on the list, whilst Taco Cat is pure, uncontrolled adrenaline. Exploding Kittens is probably the most famous game on this list thanks to its Kickstarter campaign that raised nearly $9 million. The mechanic is straightforward. You keep drawing cards until someone draws an exploding kitten, and if you don't have a diffuse card, you're out. What's interesting is that when you defuse a kitten, you put it back in the deck wherever you want so you can place it right on top for the next player to draw immediately. It's pure evil. The game has loads of action cards that let you steal cards from others, skip turns, or peek at the top cards of the deck. The humor in the illustrations is very distinctive, absurd, and slightly disturbing in a way that's quite cool. One downside is that when you're eliminated, you have to wait for the game to finish. But since games are short, it's not a big deal. If you like games with building tension and moments of betrayal, you're going to love this one. For larger groups, there's the Party Pack, which allows up to 10 players. Sushi Go is a marvel of game design. It introduces the concept of drafting in such an elegant way that anyone understands it in a minute. Each player has a hand of cards, picks one, places it face down, and everyone reveals at the same time. Then you pass the remaining cards to the person on your left and repeat. The goal is to collect combinations that give you points. 3 sashimis are worth 10 points, but if you're left with 2, you get nothing. Dumplings score more the more you have, and pudding is counted at the very end. What's beautiful about Sushi Go is that you see every hand going around the table, so you can calculate which cards are still in play and decide whether to risk completing that combination or block your opponent by taking the card they need. Imagine explaining games to a new group. Sushi Go is perfect because the rules are dead easy, but the decisions are interesting from the very first game. There's also Sushi Go Party, which adds a board, scoreboard, and many more cards to vary the games, though for traveling the original is unbeatable for its pocket size. We're closing with Cheating Moth, and this game is completely different from everything else because here cheating is mandatory. The goal is to get rid of all your cards, but the moth cards cannot be played legally. You have to make them disappear without getting caught. You can drop them on the floor, hide them under your leg, stuff them up your sleeve, whatever you can think of. But there's one player who acts as the guard bug, and their job is to catch you red-handed. If they catch you, you take the card back plus a penalty. If they accuse you falsely, the guard takes the penalty, and you have a good laugh. The games are a festival of paranoia and Oscar-worthy acting. Every time the guard looks away, half the table is throwing cards under the table. It's the perfect game for groups who enjoy a laugh and don't take rules too seriously. One warning, the cards are going to suffer because they end up on the floor constantly, so don't expect them to last forever in perfect condition. So, summing up so you know which one to choose. If you're after laughs and total chaos with a physical element, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza or Cheating Moth are your games. If you prefer something more strategic but equally quick, Virus and Sushi Go are perfect. For playing with family including young children or grandparents, Dobble and Skyjo work wonderfully. And if you want tension and moments of betrayal, Exploding Kittens is your choice. They're all easy to transport, quick to explain, and guarantee immediate fun. You have all the links in the description to check prices and reviews. If you found the video helpful, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.